2822 Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jayne Ann Bugda.
Hello and welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Jayne Ann Bugda. Today we have a great topic. We're talking about making wishes come true. Wishes for youngsters who are facing some challenging times. Our topic is Make-A-Wish, and my guest is Maggie O'Brien. She is the regional manager of Make-A-Wish for Greater Pennsylvania and West Virginia. And Maggie, thank you so much for joining me today. We're talking about an organization that has a long history and an organization that brings a lot of happiness to a lot of young people all across the nation and here at home. But first, let's start by tell us a little bit about how did the Make-A-Wish Foundation, how did it all begin?
I would love to. Thank you, Jane. So the Make-A-Wish organization has a beautiful origin story. It started very organically in April of 1983, in the early 80s. A young boy by the name of Chris Gracious was 7 years old, and he was losing his battle with cancer. And at that time, the friends and his family and friends of the family and his extended community were understandably feeling really powerless to what was happening to Chris. And a group of them got together and decided that they wanted to make a special day for Chris to live out his dreams of being a police officer. Chris was always very fascinated with police cars and fire trucks and, big equipment, and obviously, being a hero and fighting for what was right. So some friends of the family were associated with the Arizona State Police Department at that time. So they coordinated with the Arizona Staties to create a day where Chris could be a police officer for a day. A family's friend made Chris his own custom uniform. He got to ride in the helicopter, the Arizona State Police officers' helicopter in their squad cars. They staged little crimes for him to solve. He wrote jaywalking tickets. And just really got to live out a whole day of getting to experience what it was like, to be a hero in his community. And everyone associated with that day just had an incredible experience. Chris went home from that experience and told his mom it was the best day of his whole life, whole little life. Mm-hmm. And much to their sadness, Chris lost his battle with cancer just 1 week later.
Oh, wow. But he inspired a movement.
Exactly. So it was at the cemetery during Chris's funeral services where he was buried in his policeman's uniform and given, a send-off worthy of a state trooper. That those people that were associated with that day decided to, make a commitment to not let this movement stop with Chris. That there were children all over the world who needed a wish come true during a difficult time, and from there the organization was born.
And while we're talking, we're going to be showing some of the events that our local chapter is involved with, and we'll have some information up on the screen for everyone to learn more about and how they can get involved. But what is the history locally? How did our Make-A-Wish Foundation begin?
Right. So again, during the early 80s, this movement of building the Make-A-Wish Foundation grew very quickly, and chapters started popping up all across the country, built by volunteers, medical professionals, teachers. Moms and dads, loving family members came together under the banner of this Make-A-Wish organization and started granting wishes for kids in their community. Here in northeastern Pennsylvania, our earliest wish that I have a record of is probably in 1985, 1986, was when we started. Obviously then, it was just in its infancy, and it grew from there. And there are now, I believe, 66 Make-A-Wish chapters all across the world.
Oh, so and then locally you serve a pretty big region, or
Yes.
your chapter does.
Right. So I'm the Northeast Regional Office of our Make-A-Wish chapter. So I cover 11 counties in Northeast PA, and I fall under the jurisdiction of the Greater Pennsylvania, West Virginia chapter. The chapter headquarters are located in Pittsburgh, and that's where a lot of the back office. Administrative work is managed, and they manage our partnership with our parent organization, Make-A-Wish America, which is our national organization. And then I work along with, my colleagues all across our territory, in different regions. But we're all working towards the same mission, with the
Bringing a smile and
bringing wishes to children with
Right.
critical illnesses. Yes.
And you mentioned that we're together with West Virginia. What's that all about? How I say, well, how do we get involved with West Virginia?
Right. So, as technology has grown and resources have decreased, not like other industries, Make-A-Wish chapters across the country have consolidated under larger chapter banners in order to share resources and support systems. So we were just fortunate that, the chapters in West Virginia were looking for additional support. Make-A-Wish of Greater Pennsylvania at that time had the capacity to take them under our wing. So now we're all one big giant team.
And a team working towards a wonderful cause, and it's for children and teens. So if somebody's out there watching what is the criteria for becoming a WISH child or teen? Is there an age limit, and what's the criteria?
Yes, Jane, great question. This is a really important part of sharing awareness about the organization is how do we help? Can you help identify kids that are eligible for these WISH experiences? So any child between the age of 2.5 and 18 years of age who is diagnosed with a condition that's defined as malignant. Oh. So that means that it's malignant, progressive, it can put the child's life in jeopardy. It doesn't mean that they are without hope. It doesn't mean that they are not already on a path to wellness. It's exclusively just means that they are, carrying that condition, they are carrying that illness with them at that time. So as long as they fall between that age range and their physician qualifies them with a degenerative, progressive, or malignant condition, and the third is that they've never received a wish before, because it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But that's it. That's all it takes.
And then, so take us a little bit through the process once a child is recommended for a wish. It's there's a lot of work involved in putting together these wishes because they're pretty big and pretty extravagant. So take us through the wish process. What happens after someone submits a child or refers a child?
Right. So once a child has, is in our referral process and they have been qualified for a wish, meaning our eligibility committee has determined that they meet the requirements for the program, then the magic begins. Each of our wish kids and wish families are assigned a team of 2 volunteers. Those are volunteers from within the communities where our kids live, and they operate as the ambassadors for the family through the wish process. And then, so we help arrange that initial intake meeting where the team, the wish team gets to meet with the wish family, gets to know the child, learn specifics about their illness and condition, but also get to know the child personally so that they can help shape and mold a very customized and special wish just for them. So once they have the data that they need, our WISH team then reaches out to the WISH coordinator, who is probably managing numerous wishes at one time. And the WISH coordinators work in tandem and work with the National WISH Support Team to help build the relationships that are needed in order to get the wish fulfilled.
So you're talking here, how long really, I guess some wishes, not all wishes are created equal because we all have something we wish for, but so from start to finish, wish to fulfillment, what is the usual time frame?
Right, yes. So as you said, every child is different, every wish is different. So, we like to, we move at the pace of the family primarily, and of course we do that with the approval and support of their medical team and their physician, ensuring us that that they're fully supported in order to be able to experience the wish that they want. we as internally, we like to approach wishes with an 18-month time frame. That's as part of our intake meeting with the Wish family, we ask them to commit. Can you commit to helping, helping us get this granted within an 18-month time frame? That's kind of like the window where we consider, an optimal timeline. But, some can happen much faster depending on the nature of the wish. And some, can take more depending on the nature of the wish.
I imagine, yes.
Yeah.
We recently featured on 2822 News two youngsters. We had Gemma and we also had Liam. So let's talk a little bit about Gemma. Gemma, she wanted to go to see Chicago PD.
Yeah.
And she got on the set. She talked
television show, Chicago PD,
right?
not the
real, right? I should stress that, not the real police force, the one that's on TV.
Yes.
And she talked to our Julie Dunphy about the experience, and wonderful day. She had a great experience, and it was all through the Make-A-Wish, working for her, helping her, achieve this wish, and the smile on her face was just, that's
right?
the thing, that when you see these youngsters smiling. And then our Mark Killer featured our friend Liam, who, Eagles fan.
Go Birds.
Right?
Yeah.
A big Eagles fan. And we saw his experience. He went with a group of youngsters, and then the Eagle players came out and met them, and boy,
Yes.
talk about, changing the just looking at those kids' faces.
Yeah,
And
the impact,
families.
right.
And you look at the impact of the wish on the family. That's also important too.
Right. Yes, exactly. That's a huge part of the work that we do. So Gemma and Liam, both incredible wishes. They fall under the banner of, so they would be considered, that's a wish to meet, we call it, right? Because that's, when they met with their wish team to identify their one true wish, they wished to meet the Philadelphia Eagles. In Liam's case, specifically, I know he wanted to meet Saquon Barkley. And Gemma wanted to have an on-set experience with her favorite TV show, Chicago PD. So both, strong passions of both of these kids, but in different industries, right? So Gemma got to be on set. She got to experience what it's like to work behind the scenes, behind the camera. She got to meet and greet with the cast and crew. I know that she also had a little walk-on experience.
Oh, wow.
They gave her an extra role. She was on set for a couple days. She got to learn how the TV industry works, how how
I guess
all
how
these
to put
different
together a
which
show,
together,
right?
which of course you know. So that was just an incredibly that opportunity to have that life experience. Not only is it something that registers with the kids on a personal level because they're big fans of the show, but it also registers on a spiritual and I think level that these kids can experience life beyond their illness and that their dreams can come true.
Gets their mind off of it for a while, the hope of and
Yes.
going there, and their
gives them the strength to keep up with their treatments, stay the course and not give up that fight. And as you mentioned, that's not just for the kids, but it's for the families as a whole.
because they go through a lot too.
They sure do.
And is there a common wish? Is there, these were meet? You said meet.
This is a wish to. These were wish to meets. Yeah, these are Chicago PD. That's the first time I'd ever experienced anyone wish for that particular wish. Eagles wishes are not as infrequent, especially here in Northeast PA.
Okay.
But the number one wish consistently year over year is I wish to go to Disney World.
Right. So I
Yeah.
that yes. And over the years we have covered many youngsters whose wish that was
Right.
to.
And that's and I think it's important for folks to remember Disney in and of itself is such a it's a gigantic park. It's a very wide umbrella. These kids can include everything from experiencing Universal Studios and going to Diagon Alley be, in the world of Harry Potter.
Right.
That can be, meeting the princesses in the Bibbidi Bop Boutique and having a princess makeover. Star Wars, Animal Kingdom, you name it. The kids that go to Disney.
Runs the gamut.
That's, there's so much opportunity for them there.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how you fund a wish and how you can be part of making someone's wish come true. You're watching Newsmakers. I'm Jayne Ann Bugda. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
2822 Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jayne Ann Bugda. .2822 Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jayne Ann Bugda.
Welcome back to Newsmakers. I'm Jayne Ann Bugda, and today we are talking about the Make-A-Wish locally here in our region. Maggie O'Brien, and she's the regional manager of the Make-A-Wish Greater Pennsylvania and West Virginia chapter, located right here. You're in the Scranton area. Your office is in Scranton. And we're going to talk this time about volunteering and about donating. But let's first tell what is April. April is a big month for Make-A-Wish.
April is World Wish Month. Every year throughout the month of April, Make-A-Wish celebrates World Wish Month in honor of our first wish, which we talked about, our dear friend Chris. His wish was granted in April, and that's we've stuck to that tradition. It's a wonderful opportunity to get involved with the Make-A-Wish organization. We'll be granting wishes, large-scale wishes all across the country, hosting events, giving presentations, really trying to raise awareness for the organization and educate the community on how they can help us.
So wishes do not come cheap.
Yes.
They're very expensive. So tell us, what is the average cost of a wish, and a little bit of something about how you are funded.
Right. So that is the case. Wishes are magical, but they don't come cheap, right? And that's, why, we have I've had the honor, over 15 years of working with the organization to help raise the funds right here in Northeast PA to continue granting wishes for children that live here in our community who are living with critical illnesses. So as of now, as I talked about, our number one wish is I wish to go to Disney World. Our Disney wish, our Florida theme park wishes. The average cost for us right now, out-of-pocket expense, that's our chapter's cash contribution towards granting that wish, is $5,000. And we base that on the average of a family of 4, which is our average size family. It's our number one wish. And we're able to identify what it costs us to make those wishes come true. And we use that as a benchmark for all the wishes all across the region. So anyone can sponsor a wish, adopt a wish, help contribute towards the cost of a wish. And anyone who gives $5,000 or more becomes that child's wish maker.
Oh, and then people also run a lot of fundraisers throughout the year,
Yes.
showing, telling people to come out, to help you along the way for the wishes that you are granting. So they run the gamut. I'm sure
Yes.
that you
Oh,
have
yes.
a lot of them.
Yes, we do. We have everything from, I run for 35 years, we've been having a Moms for Make-A-Wish softball tournament in the Pottsville region. We have many bike events. We do school place giving. Of course, we, individual donations, clubs, organizations, foundations, we're very fortunate. Make-A-Wish is 100% privately funded. We don't receive any kind of federal, state subsidies. So we really do rely on the, generosity of our neighbors and of our community to help us raise these funds to make sure that these wishes all get granted.
And if someone is looking to donate, you do have a website to donate, and we have a QR code we're going to show people, so that'll take them to that website,
Right.
if they want to make a donation to our region.
Yes.
To help a
Yes.
child.
Right. So the QR code will specifically take you to a local donation page for our Northeast Regional Office, which I stated covers 11 counties in Northeast PA. And you can find that through the QR code. Our website also has a donation feature so that you can give in general support of our chapter, People can feel very secure when giving to Make-A-Wish to know that absolutely the funds that you are giving go back right into the region to help the local wishes for local kids. Right now, our program expense is around 80 cents on every dollar we receive goes directly towards the wish. Around 10% go to our administrative and fundraising costs, which are incredibly low given the Better Business Bureau standard of what they want from organizations our size. We're incredibly responsible with our donor dollars, and that's, I think, why we continue to receive year over year for support from great companies like Fairway Subaru in Hazleton and the Wilkes-Barre Penguins, Booster Club, Williamsport area high school, the Pocono Mountain West High School, Pocono Mountain School District are longtime wish granting supporters.
So you have a band of volunteers, but you can always use more.
Oh, yes.
If someone's looking to say, I want to volunteer, what can they do?
Right. So as I talked about that with the WISH ambassadors that work with their families and walk them through the WISH process, that's our WISH granting volunteers, the backbone of our organization. They can find information on that on our website as well. It's simply filling out an application, and a team member will reach out and talk to them about what it is they're looking to get out of the experience and share information about what we're looking for from the community. I know right now we're desperately in need of bilingual.
I was just going to ask about that because
volunteers.
we have a changing face of who's in our community now.
Yes,
So
yes.
you do need bilingual volunteers.
Yes, Spanish-speaking volunteers are always needed. I know we have a large Bhutanese population growing in Scranton. You name it. If you're interested in getting more involved with wishes, and you can share a wonderful skill like that with us, that would be great.
Right. So when you say you can do something if you want to host a fundraiser, or you can actually get involved, like you said, becoming
Absolutely.
a WISH ambassador, which is, I would think, would be a very, very fulfilling way to volunteer.
Yes,
is
it
there?
is.
You take a certain age limit for someone who?
No,
could be
I
an
mean,
age?
we ask 21 and older is generally where the WISH Ambassador program starts, just because we know students have a lot of other demands on them, and that ability to keep up with the family. But of course, if you're interested in making a donation or hosting a fundraiser, if you'd like a presentation in your workplace or for your club, anyone can reach out, with those needs. But to join the WISH granting, WISH volunteer program, that's a little bit more of a commitment,
Right.
But it certainly is. It's really how the wishes get done.
And are there a lot of wishes outstanding waiting to be granted in our area right now?
So right now there are 36
Wow.
pending wishes happening right now. So that means that 36 children have met our qualifying criteria, and they are working with the WISH ambassadors and working with the WISH team towards, getting their wish granted, having their, just like Liam and Gemma. Last year, our fiscal year, we granted 42
Oh, that's a lot. Wow.
wishes here in Northeast PA.
Wow. And do you work with the other regions and helping them, or do you talk about how
Sure.
they do different wishes? And
Exactly, right. So I mean, we're all sharing resources, sharing ideas, especially from the WISH department. We have a lot of really important protocols in place from Make-A-Wish America, our parent organization, in regards to how wishes are granted, because we're fully committed to making sure every child gets an equal an equitable wish experience. We want to make sure that if one child wishes for something magnificent and over the top, and then other kids might come to us with something a little more humble and simple. And it's important to us to make sure that we're giving them both the same equal amount of attention and enthusiasm, and so that in order we're making sure we're reaching them at their heart, and reaching their family at their heart, and giving them some hope and joy during their difficult time.
so you've been there 15 years. What is it like for you personally to see someone's wish fulfilled? I can't imagine, after all the hard work and meeting these families and knowing these youngsters and their families, what is it like for you?
It's incredibly rewarding, and in some moments it's deeply fulfilling. It certainly gives me faith in humanity. It gives me the strength to keep going on. I know early in my career, I remembered, family and close friends being very concerned that, that my work would be too emotionally draining, right? That there would be this, sadness around working with sick kids. And I can tell you, in 15 years, that's never been my experience. I am always encouraged and uplifted by our WISH kids and our families, and getting to even just play a small part in bringing them hope and joy and magic and putting a smile on their face and reminding them that they're children, and that although they're fighting, in a fight for their health at this time, it doesn't define them. It doesn't mean that it's always going to be that way. And that's that's a really powerful feeling. So yeah, I like to think of myself as I'm a professional fairy godmother.
I was just going to say that. I like that. Who can say that they have that job, right? And that kind of we are all fulfilled by what we do, but yours is in a different type of special way because you brought happiness to someone, a youngster. And is there anything that your organization needs right now? What would you wish for the Make-A-Wish in our region?
Oh dear, yes, that's a great question. I would wish that our community continues to be loving and supportive and welcoming for our WISH kids and families. I hope that they would continue to invite us to be part of their traditions, their workplace giving, their charitable gifts, when they're feeling a moment of generosity and gratitude for what they have, that they will think of Make-A-Wish and think of our kids here in Northeast PA, and who also, who really are in need of a lift up, and will reach out and offer ways to help.
Well, Maggie O'Brien, you are a wonderful spokesperson for our local area and for the children and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I want to thank you for joining me today. You can find information on today's show about donating, about becoming a volunteer, and about referring someone on 2822news.com. We're under the Newsmakers link. I want to thank Matt Gronsky, Tony Gargiola, and Andy Dean for helping us with this show, and the man behind the board, Joey Nardone, for getting us right through everything right today. I'm Jayne Ann Bugda. Thank you for making Newsmakers part of your day and help make a wish come true. We'll talk again next time.
2822 Now presents Newsmakers with your host, Jayne Ann Bugda.